Thanks, Cashin. And one of these days we're going to put Cashin right on camera because it's got to be a little weird having a voice off to the side a little bit. But again, my name is Denise Carlo, the CEO here at the National Community Action Partnership, and we're thrilled that you're on today's webinar. Whether you're on today live or you're listening to the recording, we are really thankful that some of our national vendor partners, our endorsed partners, have joined us this week in March and next week. We're doing a series of webinars really trying to educate the network about the range of member benefits. Now, we know community action agencies, state offices, and state associations join the partnership because of the mission, part of being part of the community action family, and the work that we do in the field every day. But we like to find ways, as your national membership organization, to find ways that can help you save money. Part of an association's job is to leverage the power of the network. And community action is one of the largest networks in this country, especially when you talk about human services and nonprofits. With over 1,000 local agencies, state associations, and state offices, the purchasing power is significant. And we're pleased that we have a membership in the National Human Services Assembly, the national convener of national networks of human service entities. And Caitlin can certainly talk a little bit about the variety of national networks that are part of the Assembly, but we're thrilled this is our second year of membership in the Assembly, and our second year of rollout of Purchasing Point. And last year was we rolled it out, we had a webinar, it was more of a soft rollout, we wanted to kind of get our feet wet. This year we want to go big or go home, not go home, but we want to go big. We think that Purchasing Point really offers the Community Action Network an opportunity to save some cash. And we know every day that you can put that money to very good use, whether it's through grant-funded programs, whether it's through your discretionary revenue that you're using to purchase some of these products. We know that travel costs are always increasing, office supplies, a myriad of business expenses. And while you're there for the mission, we know that you also have, and I'm sure we have a number of those folks on today's call as well, who are really worried about that bottom line number, who are in charge of purchasing and procurement for your organizations. And we hope that you find Purchasing Point a practical, easy to use, and a product that really provides you some savings. Now, is it going to change the world? Probably not by itself, but we like to think of it as a piece of the puzzle that we can really help our agencies be as effective and as efficient as possible. So today we have Caitlin Hudgens. Did I say that right? Yes. Excellent. I've known Caitlin now for a year, and I still can't get her name always right. So we're glad that Caitlin has come over to our offices today. She'll be able to take some questions, and again, you have the Q&A box in the lower right-hand corner. Please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A window, and we'll make sure that we pause periodically and take questions. This is being recorded, so if you missed something, you can certainly download the player later and repeat some of the information. And we also have folks on staff. We have Saranda Watkins here, our membership coordinator here in the background, as well as Cashin Yu. And everyone here is able to be on the phone with you to help walk you through registration on Purchasing Point and helping you make your first few purchases. We at the partnership have benefited from, for instance, the enterprise rental car discount. When we come out into the field, we have to rent cars, and we utilize Purchasing Point ourselves for office supplies as well as for the rental car, among other discounts. So we have saved money. We hope that you save money. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Caitlin, and I'm going to be exiting stage left. So glad you're with us today, and carry on.
Great. Thanks, Denise. And thank you to the Community Action Partnership for having me here. I'm really excited to share this benefit with you all. Like Denise had mentioned, I work for the National Human Services Assembly, which is a membership organization of national nonprofit human services agencies, to which Community Action Partnership is one of our members. And one of the things that we do, in addition to learning, forums that we hold, policy and advocacy work that we do on behalf of the nonprofit sector, is also provide a group purchasing discount program, which we have termed Purchasing Point. So I'm here today to share a little bit about what Purchasing Point is and how you can get started with that program. So a couple of housekeeping things for you all today. All of you are on mute, but do not worry. You can use the question feature in your panel. If you want to ask a question, please do use that feature, and like Denise mentioned, do it along the way. We will do a Q&A at the end, so likely I'll probably answer your questions towards the end. And then I believe Cashin will provide a recorded link to this webinar to you all as well, and we'll make sure to provide the link to this program as well. And you can expand or collapse that panel, so if it's getting in the way of your screen, you can certainly use that button up at the top there to expand or collapse it, and towards the bottom is that question feature. Moving right along, the agenda today, we're going to talk a little bit about what group purchasing is all about, if you're familiar with it, or if you're not, we're going to learn a little bit about it. We're going to talk about how the program works. I'm going to demonstrate some of the savings that you might see through some of our program vendors, and then I'll show you how to actually access this program through what we call our Purchasing Point portal. And then again, we will have a Q&A at the end. And typically it runs maybe 35 to 40 minutes. So I won't take up your entire hour. So what is this all about? It's really about strength in numbers, and Denise did a great job of kind of going over an overview of what this program is. But what we know is an organization can get really great discounts from vendors based on how much it purchases from that vendor. So that's how we know some of those very large corporations can get really great pricing because they purchase a lot of stuff. But what we're trying to do is we're leveraging a group of organizations, regardless of their size, we're leveraging their total combined purchasing volume. And that oftentimes is even more so than that one nonprofit. So you can kind of see the demonstration down below here. One nonprofit might have a purchasing power of $1 million, but one nonprofit plus 500 maybe has a purchasing power of $5 million. So we're leveraging that collective buying power to get really great discounts. So, and a group purchasing organization, or a GPO, as we call it, is the entity that leverages that collective buying power. So once again, greater purchasing power equals lower pricing. And we specifically at the National Human Services Assembly, through our program called Purchasing Point, we do this for nonprofits exclusively. So you can see some of our nonprofit members that we have there who have provided this program to all of their affiliates and chapters and members. But we have over 85 national nonprofits that we are working with to provide this to over 6,000 different nonprofit agencies around the country. So it's a very large network, and the nonprofits are really saving quite a bit of money through our program. A little bit more about the program. I had mentioned Group Purchasing Organization, or GPO. We're actually part of a larger organization called Health Trust Purchasing Group, or HPG. And I mentioned that because you might see that name come up here and there, and you are in the right spot. That is our Group Purchasing Organization. And our GPO's total buying power is $24 billion annually. So again, really large number, which is how we're able to get such great discounted pricing. So HPG, or Health Trust, is the entity that actually negotiates all of the contracts with the vendors. They are kind of our parents. And the contracts are made accessible to you all, community action agencies, CAP members, via Purchasing Point, so via the programs that I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about. So that kind of just outlines who the players are involved in this program. So our nonprofit members, I had mentioned that $24 billion in spend. Our nonprofit members, in 2014, we had a purchasing volume of $71 million. So we are, a pretty good chunk of change in that $24 billion. Certainly not huge, but we have seen a lot of volume through our program. And that equated to an estimated savings in 2014 of $20 million. And you can see total program savings over the course of the program, which has been running for about 10 years now. We've saved our nonprofit members $96 million. So we're really excited to share that. And we will be closing out our 2015 numbers soon. I know we're in 2016 now, but we're still closing out our 2015 numbers, and I know that savings number has grown exponentially. So we're excited that this program continues to grow, and I know, many agencies, community action agencies, have already signed up when we started this program back in 2015. almost a year ago now, and we've seen quite some utilization through it already. So we hope we get some more community action agencies joining so we can save you all some money. So the goal, obviously, is we want to save nonprofits money for their mission. Denise had mentioned this as well. You know, this means that you have more money to invest in your local programs, your staffing, your community, you know, overall just towards your mission. And we always like to say it's easier to save money than it is to raise it, and I certainly believe that. So I mentioned that I would demonstrate some of the savings through our program. So we have over 200 vendors in the program. And so if you break it down by category, you can kind of see an average savings percentage by category. So if you purchase through our food vendors, you know, Integra and Sodexo and some of the others, you'd save about 20%. Office supplies, we have staples in our program, you would save about 25%. Express shipping, that's probably one of our best discounts through FedEx, and that's 54%, really, really great discount. And then you can see some of the other ones as well. If you used all of these different categories, you'd save an overall, or an average savings of about 30 to 33%. And certainly, we know that many of you probably have contracts already with some of these vendors, and you may already get some very good pricing. And so we can always do a cost analysis for you if you want to see, you know, how much on top of that you would save through our program. So that's something that we can offer, and I'm sure Cashin can send out my contact information. So if anybody wants to contact me and is interested in that, I can certainly do that for you. And I actually wanted to show you one. Again, Denise had mentioned Enterprise, and we love this discount. Not only can you use this for business travel, you can also use it for personal travel. So there are just a handful of vendors within our program that do offer employee discounts. And we can also send some information out about that. But Enterprise is one of them. And so you can see up at the top here, I went through, and if we rented a car for 3 days, on the Enterprise website, you'd see it's about $220. If you go back and you do the exact same process, but through our program using our contract ID code, it's almost like a promo code that you just put in there, you would see that same exact car would only cost you about $134. So it's a savings of $86 or 39%. So really great discount there. Enterprise, National, and Alamo are in our program. They're all under the Enterprise Holdings Company. And again, you can use this for personal use as well. And I know the Community Action Partnership here has been using that, and we use it all the time. It's a really great discount. Skipped over one. So I want to show you how to actually get started. And I'm going to show you this on the website, on the portal, but I just kind of want to walk you through the steps and outline it first and foremost. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to enroll on our website. And I'll show that website in just a second. And you enroll for free. Again, this is a completely free benefit from the Community Action Partnership for you all to utilize. It really, really is free. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. So you can enroll your agency for free, and you complete an agreement. And I'll kind of go over the three main things that are in that agreement. So the first person that enrolls on the website is the one that will sign that agreement. But multiple people can create a profile and have access to these discounts once that first person has enrolled your organization. And I'll kind of show you that as well. So you might have a couple different people that are in charge of purchasing within your agency. And so they can all have access to this and sign up with the different vendors. But do know that that first person will be the one to put in information about your organization and sign that agreement. Once you enroll, it takes about 24 hours for you to be issued what we call a GPO ID, or a Group Purchasing Organization ID number. And once you're issued that number, you can start finding vendors. So go on that website, sign up with vendors. It's kind of like a shopping cart feature. You say, yes, I want to sign up with Staples, I want to sign up with FedEx, etc. And then you will get access to vendor contracts. So you can sign up with multiple vendors at one time. You can convert any existing accounts to our discounted pricing. So many of you probably have a Staples account, for instance. When you hit sign up with Staples, there's an option to put in your account number. And Staples, they take about 24 to 48 hours. We'll contact you back and say, you know, your account has been loaded with the discounted pricing. So it's really a no-brainer, super easy to use. I do want to mention, though, it is important to follow instructions in those different vendor profiles, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say vendor profiles. This is a national program. It's all negotiated at the national level, and we work with national account reps. So many of your local reps might not know about this program and know about the exact pricing. That's not to say you can't continue to work with them. Obviously, we want you to continue to work with your local reps, but get access to the program first and foremost at this national level, and then you can continue working with your local reps on ordering goods and services. So again, once you have an account, you know, purchasing and invoicing is done directly between your organization and the vendor. So this purchasing point portal that I'm about to show you is just a way to get access to those vendors and let them know that, yes, indeed, you are eligible for this discounted pricing. There won't be any purchasing done on this website, although that is in our future. We do hope to have an all-in-one kind of Amazon way to do this, so stay tuned for that. So that is the link, which again I'm sure will be sent out to you, CAP or cap.purchasingpoint.org. So that is the link you will go to, and I'm just going to go ahead and switch over to that. And I'm just going to walk you through how to start. So again, I'm at cap.purchasingpoint.org. I find it pretty intuitive, but I'll just show you a couple features here on this site. The home screen shows you a little bit about, you know, some of the vendors that we have in the program, some of the categories that we have. If you keep scrolling down, it'll show you some of the nonprofits that we have in our program. And then at the bottom of the screen, there will always be a contact customer service button. So you can click that button right there. You can send us a quick email if you have any questions about the program. And that's also a great way, if you want to do a cost analysis, we can certainly do that. There is a phone number as well, which is directly connected to myself and my team. So we will answer that as well. So if you want to call us, certainly do that. Scrolling back to the top, a couple tabs here. There's an About the Program tab. If you click that, it's basically going to just go over exactly what I was telling you today, how the program works, registering your organization, finding the vendors, and signing up with them. If you forget anything that I said today, it's probably right here on this About the Program tab. There's also an FAQ. So if you have any questions, certainly look here, and you can click on it. It'll expand. Certainly look there for your questions, but once again, that contact button, which is at the bottom, and there's also one right here. It's the same form. You can send us a quick email if you have any questions. What's really nice about this website is you can actually browse through our different vendors before you even sign up. So using this browse vendor categories, you can see it's broken down by the categories. If you know you're looking for office furniture but don't know, which vendor you want to utilize or what vendors you have, you can click on that category. I always like to point out we do have green vendors, so we have environmentally friendly vendors in our program. We also have certified minority and women-owned vendors as well. So if that is important to you, supplier diversity, certainly check out our, those vendors over here on this side. I'm just going to click Browse All Vendors up here at the top, and that's just going to give me an alphabetical list of all of the vendors that we have in the program. And it'll show you, this is the vendor profile. It'll show you some basic information about the vendor, the categories that they supply. and also a percentage savings, an average savings that you would see using that vendor. You can see some of them don't have that average savings, and that's just because it varies so much by product or service. So if I wanted some more information about that vendor, I can click, this is a blue hyperlink here, I can click into the vendor profile. Now, it's not going to give you very detailed information because you haven't enrolled in our program, so it's not going to be a lot of pricing and savings information. We don't put that out there for our competitors to see since we have such great pricing, but you'll see some basic information about that vendor. If you wanted more detailed information about the pricing on a specific vendor, we can probably get that to you if you contact us. So certainly do use that contact button. So again, you can see some basic information about our vendors, who we have in the program. You can use the search feature here. So if you know you're looking for staples and want to know if we have staples within the program, I search staples and obviously it comes up. Or maybe you're looking for employee discounts, so that's also something great to search on. If you search on employee discounts, it'll pop up with all of the vendors that do offer employee discounts. So certainly use that feature. But I want to actually show you how to enroll. So to enroll your organization, you're going to click this register button. And the first step is you're going to check and see if your organization is already enrolled. And it's quite possible that maybe some of your organizations are enrolled and you're just on this webinar to find out some more information. Maybe a different employee enrolled your organization. And this is where if you put in your zip code and your organization is already enrolled, you could click on it. And if you hit continue now, this is how I would enroll as a new employee of this organization. So I had mentioned that multiple people can have access to this. Once that first person enrolls their organization, this is how they would do that. But I assume the majority of you are on this because your organizations aren't enrolled, so you want to know how to do that. When you put in your zip code, you'll click My Facility is Not Listed. It's then going to ask you if you are a healthcare organization that accepts Medicaid or Medicare reimbursement. Probably most of you aren't, but certainly there may be some of you that do. If you do, that's not a problem at all. There's just a slightly different enrollment process for you. So you would say yes, and then it would take you to another enrollment process. Probably most of you will say no. And then you would continue down. And then it's going to ask you, it's going to tell you that you're going to be signing an agreement. And there's three different kind of key pieces to this agreement that I always get lots of questions on. So I want to kind of go over those now. So the first part of it is exclusivity. So it's you are agreeing that your organization does not belong to another group purchasing organization. I get a lot of questions on this. A lot of people are part of regional consortiums or local groups that they get good pricing from and things like that, and that's completely fine. The only organizations that we're not wanting is other large group purchasing organizations. So there's about 5 other competitors to ours, MedAssets, Premier Innovation, and a few others that I'm blanking on, but those are the very large group purchasing organizations in the hospital and healthcare world. If you are a part of any of those, certainly contact me. You can still be eligible. We'll just kind of walk you through that process. The second part is compliance. So this is kind of an effort clause. It just says that you'll make every effort to purchase about 80%. If we have a particular area of spend available through our program, you'll purchase 80% through us. And what that means is if you buy office supplies, we do have an office supply vendor, Staples, so you'll try and make an effort to purchase about 80% of your office supplies through our vendor. And I do get a lot of questions from people, well, how do you know? Or what will happen if I don't? And to be quite honest, we won't know. We won't exactly know. There aren't huge consequences, but it is just kind of a good faith clause in there. And then the last piece is volume. So you'll agree to purchase about a minimum of $1,000 annually through our vendors, and that's $1,000 from when you sign up. It's not by calendar year. And that's $1,000 total, so that could be $400 with FedEx and $400 with Staples and $200 with, Enterprise and things like that. Also, any of the employee discounts that you take advantage of, maybe a couple of your employees have Sprint cell phones, if they switch over to ours, that all is included in that $1,000 annual minimum. So some of the smaller agencies may have questions about that. What if I don't meet that minimum? Again, we won't come knocking on your door and have you make up the difference or anything like that. You'll just get an email from me saying, how can we strategize for the following year? What are some of the vendors that maybe you aren't taking advantage of? So don't let that be a deterrent for you. So you'll say I agree to these terms and can sign the document. You'll hit continue now. And then there's 3 parts to signing up. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just wanted to highlight them. The first part is you'll put in information about your organization. So your legal name, the DBA name, or doing business as. Most people that'll be the same name, but if you do business as a different name, put that in there. Your address, and then if you did have any other addresses that you ship to or anything like that that you do purchasing on behalf of, you can add those as well. The second part here is you're just going to fill in that basic information about yourself, so creating an account, and that's what those people do if they sign up as an additional user. Once the organization has been signed up, they'll do that same process. So just ask for your email and password and things like that. And then that third part is that contract that we just talked about. It's electronic. You just put in your initials and you sign it. So the whole process takes about maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. It's just a very quick process, and once you're in there, it's pretty seamless. So that's the step to enroll. I'm actually going to just sign in to show you then what it looks like inside the portal and show you a couple different things, and then we'll start to wrap up. So I'm going to sign in. So once you sign in, and this is what it will look like every time you come back, you'll see the same tabs up at the top. You'll see the same browse vendor categories. You'll see a couple vendors highlighted here on your home page. That GPO ID that I had talked about, again, that will be loaded into your account within 24 hours. That always fits right here. It's not a number that you need to memorize. It's just a number that's there that will be sent to the vendors when you sign up with them. So now when you browse through the vendor categories, you'll see a little bit more information if you click into the vendor. You'll see payment terms, how to order, some downloads. So these are always, I recommend people to look through these downloads. I know Staples and FedEx for sure have a cost comparison download. You can download that and see some of the pricing. It looks like Guy Brown does as well. What else is on these vendor profiles is contacts. So these are contacts, national representatives that know about this program, know about us, and if you reach out to them, they certainly will be helpful if you have any questions about the products and services. So if I go back and I browse through these vendors, I had mentioned kind of a shopping cart feature with signing up with the vendors. So, maybe you want to sign up with Aon for insurance, maybe Aramark for food. I'm clicking that select vendor button, and as I do that, you can see it adds it to a cart over here on the right-hand side. So you can go through Ranger, and then once you're done signing up with vendors, you'll hit this big green Get Access button. And then it's going to show you your information. You'll hit Continue. And this is where I had mentioned if you have any existing accounts with these vendors, you can put in your account number. So maybe I had an existing Granger account. I can click on that, and I can type in my account number. If I were to hit the Submit Vendor Access Request, what happens is an email is generated to each of those vendors, national reps, including your account numbers if you have one, will be in there. That'll have that GPO ID in there so they know you're eligible for the program pricing. They will contact you back either by phone or email and say, yes, we've set you up with an account, or yes, we've loaded the discounted pricing into your current account and you're ready to go. If there's any additional steps, they'll also let you know about those. And again, once that happens, you're ready to start purchasing, and you just purchase directly with the vendor. You know, whether you do it on the phone, whether you do it in person or online, you would do it the same exact way. So that's all you do as far as the program is concerned. Definitely come back to the portals periodically. We do add vendors here and there, and maybe, you know, you want to start with Staples or, you know, FedEx or something like that first. You can do that, but definitely come back and add some of those other vendors. Always think about our program as you're going to purchase something. You'd be surprised on how many different categories we have, from paint to flooring to technology and et cetera. Or, you know, you're getting new office furniture or things like that. So definitely check our program to see if we have a vendor that might meet your needs. Before we kind of wrap up and do some Q&A, I just want to show you two more things. Up at the top, you have a Your Profile section. So should you need to change anything, pretty intuitive, you can come here and change anything about your organization or personally. It's also going to show you any registered users that are at your organization. So it's going to show you who else signed up from your organization. And that's a great feature, one, for you all to know, but also to let us know if anybody should, you know, leave, you can let us know and we can take them down. And then it's going to show you the vendors that you've sent inquiries to, so who you submitted that Get Access request to, and the vendors that you're actively purchasing with. And don't worry if, you know, you see a vendor that you sent something to and you started to purchase with them but it hasn't moved to active purchasing. It takes about 4 to 6 months for us to get the data and for us to import it into the system. But if you have any questions about, you know, am I getting the discount, how do I know I'm getting the discount, certainly contact us and we can help you with any of that information. And then the last piece here, again, the Your Vendors tab will show you that same information about the vendors that you sent inquiries to. It just gives you a little bit more information about them, and it will always have that contact if you need to contact that vendor. So with that, I certainly hope that you guys will sign up with the program. I encourage you to do so. Sign up. If for some reason it doesn't meet your needs, there's you know, no consequence to you know, getting out of the program or anything like that. So you might as well sign up, start utilizing it, and I think you'll see a really great savings. And I welcome any questions.
Sure, we have a couple that have come in, so we'll start with those, and be sure to use the Q&A button on that right side panel to go ahead and get those in. First up, you had mentioned that FedEx was one of your partners. Are there other express mail, like is UPS or any couriers or anything like that involved?
Yeah, great question. So we just have FedEx for shipping. We don't have UPS. You'll see in our program that there are many vendors that are competing vendors that are within our program, and then we do have what we call sole source vendors. So we have an agreement with them exclusively. And so that is shipping is a sole source category, and we do that because we get such great discounts to be able to say, FedEx, we're giving you all of our business, essentially. So it's just with FedEx to answer your question, but I think, you know, you'd see some great savings switching maybe if you are with UPS right now or with another one to our FedEx program. And again, I can do that cost analysis if you have questions about that.
Great, thanks. So next up, you said that we could have multiple people signing up under the same organization. Is there any limit to how many people can be on?
No, not at all. You can have as many people as you want signing up. One thing that I didn't talk about that I'll just mention real quickly is I actually had signed up as a test account under the Community Action Partnership here. And you'll see because there are other people signed up and other people signing up with vendors within this organization, that I can't go and sign up with a vendor that's already been signed up with. So, you know, Alamo is something that they've already signed up with. You'll see it's in process. And so I can't re-sign up with them, which really helps, one, not to confuse the vendors, but also for you guys not to create, you know, multiple accounts.
Great. And another question that's come in, if somebody is already a member of a GPO, is there a reason to continue or to switch under the CAP purchasing point?
Okay, yeah, and I think you had mentioned you're already part of the Health Trust one as well. I would recommend it, yes. If you can switch under Community Action Partnership, which we can, you know, easily do for you, we can provide more customer service, more support for you, cost analyses and things like that. I know that many of the not nonprofit members that are part of Health Trust don't quite get as much attention as our nonprofit members do. So I would recommend it, but certainly you're not going to get any additional discounts. It's the same exact program. So that's completely up to you guys.
Great. That is all that I see in the queue right now, though, of course, do reach out to us here at the partnership, as well as to Caitlin directly. We will follow up with an email that will let you know about the recording of today's event and some contact information here. So I know sometimes it takes a little bit to digest, so do send questions along if they come later. With that, I think we are ready to wrap it up for today. Hope to see you later this week on some of our other webinars as we spotlight the member benefits of being with the partnership. So any closing words that you had, Caitlin?
Yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to sign up. It's a really great program. We're really happy to have partnered with Community Action Partnership, and we think that this is a great member benefit to you all and a no-brainer. So I do hope that you will sign up.
Great. Have a wonderful afternoon and morning, everyone. See you on another webinar soon.